What's up, everybody? It's Jacob. Thanks for joining me on a Saturday night. We're going to explore some AI slop all the way up to kind of the latest thing that's going on with AI video. Something happened in the last 3 weeks that really has me convinced that AI or Hollywood's done. Which reminds me, welcome to Hollywood Stinks. Yeah, I made this thumbnail and I lost like 20 subscribers. So I guess some people don't like potty humor, but that's okay. I know that those of you that are here, you are here for me and not for the potty humor. But seriously though, we're gonna look at a little bit about. I'm gonna show you some AI video. You know, like 2 years ago, last year, and then like a matter of weeks ago. And the amount of progress is startling. It's absolutely startling. We're also going to talk a little bit about what Hollywood is doing to basically kill itself. And I'm not talking about injecting wokeness and you know, just being terrible at writing and all of that stuff, but actually really bad business decisions. Specifically around the unions. But anyway, let's look into the chat tonight and see who dropped by. I see we had Batty Commander came by earlier. Thanks, Batty. And we've got Night Owl, regular visitor, and our inaugural channel member. Thanks for supporting me all this time. I really appreciate it. It's been a rough year, but you know, 2026 already been layering in some improvements. So I switched my merely to say that I'm taking your channel membership and I'm investing it back into other things. You know, and I know it's not a lot, but it still means a lot to me in the sense that you are supporting me through your channel membership. So I downloaded DaVinci Resolve and I basically converted everything that I was doing in this like lesser video editing program. It's not even worth mentioning. Now I'm using DaVinci Resolve to do the better video quality because I was capturing at higher quality on a camera, but the editing software wasn't doing anything. It was just banging everything down. And the last video that I launched, I mean, the quality is just, it's night and day. Let me see if I can find it here. In case those of you that had missed it, because I think I may have said something that ticked off YouTube again, which is not unusual. I did a reaction video on John Stossel TV. He's a TV journalist, been around for decades, and he was always kind of known to be a little more conservative, but I think technically he's libertarian. But anyway, he made a video on Wikipedia and how biased it is, specifically very, very far left, the kind of left that we're seeing of women blocking certain enforcement officers and getting in the process of doing so, kind of left on the spectrum there. And but I zhuzhed it up a little bit and basically went into more detail of why this is particularly dangerous, because he only touched on it a little bit in the video. And that was that Wikipedia is often cited quite extensively inside ChatGPT. I don't know about Grok and all the other chatbots because I don't use them as much, but there are many documented instances where you have a lot of these editors that aren't even vetted. They're not even, there's like no certification or whatever kind of vetting process. You could just go in there and change whatever. And so there was this big battle between Palestinian and Israeli editors trying to control the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. So it got to the point where it's like, all right, nobody can edit the article anymore. You're all done. And the article that I showed in there, they went well over 1 million edits, just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, trying to change that one article or a small group of articles. So it's not unusual for this kind of thing to happen, these kind of battles to wage through Wikipedia, not to mention there's people revising history revisionists, doing weird things with mathematics and science and really changing articles that then get sucked into AI and train the AI and make them biased in those ways. but I also expanded a little more on what bias in AI is in general, because you'll never totally get rid of it. But interesting. But anyway, that was my first video where I went outside with my mobile rig and tried to do a reaction video on the outside, and I actually cut out the part where I tripped in a gopher hole. So, but yeah, it was a fun experiment. I think I'm gonna do more of those when it warms up, because that was like the last day of warm weather before it really started hitting us here in Colorado. Okay, so let me look in the chat. See, oh, hey, hi Lily. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for staying up late with us in the UK. So hi. Batty tells me that you are quite heavily into photography and cinematography. So we might have to talk more about that offline, because one of my big goals this year is to get better at color correction, filming, lighting, and all that kind of stuff. Because I was just putting up a camera and yakking into it. Time to grow a little bit. And Night Owl says he doesn't know about DaVinci Resolve. Yeah, this is a really, the big thing about DaVinci Resolve is that when you buy it, you own it. So it's none of this Adobe crap where you have to pay an ongoing subscription. And then there's this whole thing about, oh, by the way, last year where they said, and we own the copyright to your creative works because we got to train our AI tools to do better in our tools. So yeah, that really cost them big time with that. I wouldn't say that, Lily. I don't think you're rubbish. I've seen some of your stuff. I think, it's good. I wouldn't discount what you're doing. You have an eye, the cinematography and all that. For me, I'm just like, oh, look at me, a shaky camera. Oh, I'll just edit that. I don't care. But I think you have a better understanding than most people do when they whip out their cameras. So don't discount yourself. Well, there you go. I think maybe some people just have an eye, and I think you have a very good eye for composition for somebody that just started a little while ago. So there you go. That's my opinion anyway. I could be totally wrong, but that's my opinion. Okay, so yeah, DaVinci Resolve. So so the big reason was people buy it because they wanted to get off the Adobe ecosystem and not pay that subscription, and then the whole training of their AIs. And while DaVinci Resolve does have really cool AI tools, they do say, and I did a post about that. Let me see if I can put that up here. I made a post about it, and I'm definitely getting filtered here. Yeah, there's me showing my new light. But yeah, this is when I announced that I got DaVinci Resolve, this is one of the main reasons why I bought it. So they're not training AI on your creative work until, they could change their mind, but this is like the last bastion, the last man standing of a company. And they're basically the only ones that say, we're not going to do it. I mean, everybody else kind of does it on the sly or quietly. This is the only company that I'm aware of that basically came on record on their website. Look, you buy your stuff, you buy our software, you own it outright. We're not training anything on our end. But they have a lot of really cool AI tools that you can do. Like one of the things is that they're really known for is this thing called magic masking, where you can outline yourself. I'm trying to do a backwards world here. And then I can separate the background and then put text behind me and do stuff like that. Another really cool tool they have is that I could, let's say I'm editing another person's video, they're talking, and they make a mistake. They said something wrong, or maybe they got a figure wrong. I can record my voice and say the correct words, and then I can upload their voice into the AI built into the software to train it on what that person sounds like, and then it'll take my words and make it sound like their words. It's just stuff like that works really, really, really well. That got me excited about getting DaVinci Resolve. Lots of other AI tools. Plus my audio engineering history, which there's a whole page in there that's just like all the plugins, and actually uses all the high-end music plugins that I did for audio engineering for years and years. But they have stuff that's built in too, so I can optimize the sound and do all that. And there's a whole thing with color correction. So there's all these areas of the software where it's like, I'll know I'll get there eventually. I have it all in one place, but I don't have to have like the 5, 6, 7, 8 programs that you have to go back and forth with Adobe as well. So all the more reason why I wanted to get it. Lots of good motion effects, VFX stuff too. All right, here, hold on. My mic's annoying me. There you go. I hate to see the arm in the frame. That's my thing. All right, so okay, I'm back to normal. My glitch is completed. So yeah, so it's just kind of the year of improving, and so I want to improve more what I'm doing with the behind the scenes, and I'm doing more. I'm working actually with an AI more on a project level instead of just doing individual chats. I'm actually creating projects, which is something once I get further down, I'll show you guys how to do it. I am building a dedicated agents that specialize. Like this is the Gen X Jacobs Shorts agent, and this is the one that does the long form videos. And I have another content format that I'm going to be doing that I don't want to quite show my hand yet because I don't know if I can pull it off quite yet, but I'm working on it. But it's sort of like the culmination, the cinematography, the color correction, the motion graphics, the audio engineering, all in one format. So I don't want to announce anything yet until I get my first whack at it done. All right. So I guess that's the announcements. That's the updates. So let's take a look at the first topic tonight. Let me get the video going here. So for those of you that have been on the channel for a while, maybe you've heard me talk about this or mention it in passing, but I've not done an official video on it. But AI has actually been around since the mid-50s, 1950s, and it's gone through 3 major peaks and troughs. Three major peaks and 2 troughs. So in the 50s, we had one form of AI. I won't bore you with all the technical details. And then in the 90s, there was another form of AI, and they all had their strengths and weaknesses. But the form of AI that we all know and use today is generative AI, which is very different. But the major difference is that you can talk to the AI in natural language and converse with it back and forth. So that's the huge thing. And the other major difference is that they are what they call multimodal. So, excuse me. They can generate text in response or in requests to your prompting back and forth. And then they can generate images, and the more advanced ones can also generate video, but typically the video ones are dedicated, which kind of brings me to the topic of tonight. It's AI video, movies, cinematography, making stuff. But the new form of AI that we have today, the generative AI, is really, as far as in the public eye, has only been around for 2 years. What are we talking? Since November 2023. ChatGPT comes out, and first the nerds run with it, and then now everybody's doing it. I go I'm watching my YouTube channel, and a lot of my viewers are making AI videos now. It's nothing. It doesn't really take much effort other than to describe to the AI what you want in video, as long as you have a source image, or you can go from text to video. There's all kinds of different modes to transform your prompt into another medium. So that being said, in Hollywood, right? When they make movies, they have writers, they have cinematographers, they have the editors, they have the sound engineers, the lighting guys, and then the final product comes out, and nowadays they're just going to want to stream it. I don't think they're going to go in the movie theaters for much longer here. If Netflix gets their way and purchases Paramount, which is a whole nother thing that makes me nervous. But the point that I'm getting at is even with DaVinci Resolve has a lot of the tools that Hollywood's been using for a long time behind the scenes. And now, I can just get it for $300. And even then, I can still get some of the AI tools for free, right? So even the free version of DaVinci Resolve is very, very powerful. But for $300, I own it. Now I got a Hollywood studio. All I got to do is capture the video, and I've got AI that can do the writing in any style I want. I can tell the AI, hey, I want to do a dystopic sci-fi movie, and I want you to write it in the voice of George Orwell, but maybe sprinkle in a little bit of Harry Potter, and you can do all kinds of stuff. And I'll tell you what, I think a lot of the people in Hollywood have been doing this for a while with writing. And this brings me to my first video, which is 2 years ago in, 2023, we had this CBS Morning Report where we have Fran Drescher of the Nanny fame, who actually is the president of SAG-AFTRA. I don't know if you guys knew that. And she's basically threatening to go on strike in 2023 over AI and its impact on the industry. And even when AI just got started, they're already panicking. And I'm going to pull up some things about the interesting way they went about arguing over AI. It wasn't so much the AI is coming, it's who gets the credit when we use AI in the writing. Because it's not just, oh, one guy wrote the script. They write by committee. There's writing rooms, and the writing process is very complicated. But anyway, let's kind of listen to this nothing short of a panic attack here from Fran Drescher.
The entire business model has been changed by streaming, digital, AI. This is a moment of history. That is a moment of truth. If we don't stand tall right now, we are all going to be in trouble.
Welcome back to CBS Mornings. Hope you like the news because...
Yeah. Boy, howdy, did they get in trouble. Oh, yes, Lily. Definitely. If that's something y'all want to see, because I want to start doing more, I don't want to say educational videos, but edutainment. So I want to entertain, but also educate, which is kind of what I was trying to do before, but the algorithm doesn't really like it much the way I'm doing it. So I'm going to try and do more formal videos on specific things that we can do in software and different tools. And yeah, for sure, DaVinci Resolve, it's a little complicated, but I can boil it down to some constituent parts. But then there's also the one of the tools that I'll talk about tonight that generates video, and I think was used in something that I'm going to show in the final progression of where we are today in January 2026. Wow. It took me a second to remind myself, say 2026, Jacob, you can do it. I remember when I had to sign checks, and January would come. When was the last time anybody wrote a check, right? I'll be like, oh crap, I wrote the wrong year. Hey, Batty, thanks for coming out. You're late, but appreciated. Thanks for coming out tonight. All right. So yes, definitely much more specific videos on prompting and using some AI tools. So I'm going to do more of that. I'm going to start with shorts and then try and do longer versions. But with some visual effects and things, trying to incorporate more of those tools in DaVinci Resolve. And then what I could do is just show you how I did it. Just as sort of maybe like another side video. I don't know if that's what the main audience wants. Cause your boy's posting pictures of gaseous clouds and losing 20 subscribers at a go here. So, I can't change the content too much. The audience wants what the audience wants, right? All right, hold on. I lost my spot. What am I doing here? Let me get back to Fran Drescher. Let's see. Where did the nanny go? Here we go. All right. So we'll pick up where we left off here. And then I'm going to pull up ChatGPT and show you a couple of really weird things of where I thought that the unions were focusing wrong with AI. But here we go.
Because there's going to be a lot more news in your media diet because just about everything else is on strike. Those words there from Fran Drescher. She's an actor, of course, president of the SAG-AFTRA union, and she's talking about why actors are now joining writers on the picket lines, forcing much of Hollywood to shut down production. Other stars like Jane Fonda and Wanda Sykes, Lin-Manuel.
Oh yeah, Jane Fonda's gonna get my dad going. I don't know if you all are old enough to remember Jane Fonda sitting in the gun turret in Vietnam, communist Vietnam, and yeah, not a good look for her. But anyway, by the way, SAG-AFTRA is more of the actors, and I think it's also like the stagecraft people. And then there's also the WGA, the Writers Guild of America, which struck separately, adding more delays and problems to Hollywood producing more of their schlop. But anyway, let me get back to the video here.
Well, Miranda had already been protesting along with the writers in support of industry colleagues who they say are struggling just to make a living. In response to the actors now striking, the studio representatives, that's the AMPTP, said in part, quote, presented a deal that offered historic pay and residual increases. The union has regrettably chosen a path that will lead to financial hardship for countless thousands of people who depend on the industry. So, with the actors disputing that characterization, of course, what is really going on here? We're joined by New York Times media reporter Nicole Sperling, who's been covering this extensively.
By the way, fair use YouTube. I am transforming this work with my commentary and terrible sense of humor.
Nicole, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So what's the immediate impact of both the actors and the writers on strike now?
Well, the industry was pretty much 80% shut down with just the writers. A lot of productions had stopped.
So yeah, did you catch that? 80% of the entire industry was shut down just from the writers alone, because that's where the seed of the ideas come from, right? All the writers, and then there's all these rights around books, and then hopefully they'll get into who owns what when AI's writing, or if AI transforms any work.
And surprisingly, a lot of writers were able to shut down productions by picketing very aggressively and forcing studios to not want to go forward with productions. Oh. But now we're done. Like, everything's shut down. Like, there's no promotion of projects too, which is a really big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal for you guys.
Recovering from COVID. I mean, it's a big deal for us now in terms of guests. You know, I worry about the day that we're just sitting here doing jazz hands because there's nobody here to talk to. But weren't we already behind the 8 ball because of COVID?
Yeah, I mean, theaters chains are still coming back from COVID. They're still 25% down.
Yeah, so this is another excuse, because remember, this is 2 years ago. We're just coming out of the cough and the spritz, which Batty Commander's talking about here for his area. But this is BS, because in LA, they shut everything down and let Hollywood keep going. They just added all these protocols where they had the distance and cover up. So I don't buy this excuse. Well, let's keep going.
What they were in 2019 before the pandemic. You know, studios had ramped up aggressively so with all their content, with the streaming wars that were happening when everyone was fighting for eyeballs and subscribers. And then that shut down. A lot of productions shut down during COVID. I mean, we saw it happen. Those all came back, but the industry was...
It wasn't that the production shut down all during COVID. It's that they were trying to adjust to all the new protocols they put in place, because Hollywood did not fully shut down. They kept going. They shut everything else down in LA. Yeah, here you go. Welcome, by the way, 07. Good to see you. Thanks for coming out tonight. Yeah, Hollywood was busy having parties, all while Karen at Target said, sir, 6 feet, it's for your safety. Yeah. Yeah, therefore, my natural response to that is this. Have some of that. Oh man, if I lose subscribers over it, I'm just gonna keep going until they all clear out. I don't want them. I don't want the people that aren't entertained by that. All right, I lost my tab. Here we go. We'll go back to the video.
is still struggling.
So what do you make of Fran Drescher? You know, because you could certainly feel her passion, her commitment.
It was an incredible speech.
I thought so too.
So many quotable
lines. It's worth looking at everything that she said, and her
passionate.
anger. Was she effective, do you think?
Oh, I think she was so effective. I mean, I think she rallied those flagging writers who've been stuck on the picket line for the last 70 days. Like, she may be fighting her own battle.
All right, okay, hold on. Now, in hindsight, I think I pulled up the wrong video. They're not going to get to what I want to get to. So you know what? I'm just going to have ChatGPT do it for me. Hold on here. Let me queue up something real quick. Make sure I've got the right situation set up here. Here we go. We'll go over to ChatGPT, and I'm going to ask it about the nuances behind the strike. Can you remind me what the points of contention in the SAG-AFTRA strike and also the Writers Guild strike 2 years ago and I believe last year in 2024, in case you don't know what year it is, ChatGPT, around AI and writers' credits? Here we go. So the Writers Guild of America. Oh, so it was in 2023. Okay. Let's see. The final deal included new AI protections. AI is not considered a writer, right? So they weren't giving it, because again, this is the personhood argument that I bring up, every once in a while. We're going to get to the point to where we are going to have to give AI personhood to for various reasons to just make things smoother, although that I don't agree with that. But anyway, not considered a writer, i.e. not a person. And so AI script output isn't treated as traditional literary material. But here's the problem. A lot of the writers, they're not necessarily using AI fully. They're taking their script or their ideas and they're saying, hey, AI, can you change a nuance here? Or can you give me some more ideas and then pepper it in my thing. So what happens when you do that? You're still transforming original work, right? So this is the next line. If a writer is given AI generated material that material doesn't count against their credit or compensation entitlement. So that's basically saying well, I didn't know I was given generated material, or I didn't know I was given altered material, because there's this complex chain of who gets credit for what. So that's where all this comes from. Studios must disclose when AI has been used. Yeah, I think that rule's been broken quite a bit in the writer's room. And here's the other thing. Writers cannot be required to use AI as part of their job, because there was a situation that came up where people were told, yeah, just go write something and use AI, get it done, do something. Let's see. Here we go. Why AI mattered to writers. AI underscored an existential concern that studios might use generative tools to produce scripts with fewer or no human writers, undercutting both job security and creative credit, which is a wrong way to look at it, because this is very early days of people starting to use generative AI. It's it's more like transforming existing work or collaborating with it. You have to prompt the AI. It's not like you're going to show up and go, oh, is that a whole script in my AI? Well, that's just convenient. That's not how it happens, right? There has to be a collaborative effort through prompting. Let's see here. The strike ended in late September 2023 with provisions that lock in AI limits and protects writers' credits and compensation relative to AI output. So they kind of ignore that whole collaboration thing because of this clause right here. AI is not considered a writer, not human, no personhood, therefore no writing credit. So that was their way out. And and there was one other thing that was really weird. Let me see here. Then they struck again later. I think there was another strike they did. I got confused because there's so many unions in Hollywood. Let's see here. Artificial intelligence and digital replicas. So now they're getting into avatars, capturing likenesses, which I'm going to show some celebrities on their thoughts on this, not in the way that you would think they would react to it, either pro or for. It's a very interesting perspective that ties to a lot of past technology adoptions. Let's see here. So key actor demands around AI. So again, this is the actors, not the writers. So it's more the acting. Actors must agree before studios use their likenesses or voice in digital AI form. So But what about before AI? We have all these Marvel movies where they got Spider-Man jumping around, you know, all over the place. You know, they do motion capture for all, or what do they call it? Performance capture now, because they're capturing the nuance of performance. They don't like to call it motion capture anymore. Let's see. Compensation for AI use. Clear payment terms for use of AI generated voice or image likeness. So that's framework for, hey, if we do use your stuff, we got to give you a kickback. And if it's anything like the music industry, nobody tracks that. Nobody knows really what's going on there. It's just going to be a morass of bureaucracy to get anything paid out. That's just from my experience being in the music industry. And what happened when the modern analog or equivalent was basically iTunes, you know, before even Spotify, where you downloaded your music to the iPod or the iPod, where you started paying iTunes and all of that. Same thing. You go to any music executive and ask them how the money flows from iTunes through the record label up to the executive and back down to the artist. Nobody can give you a straight answer. Nobody literally understood the entire food chain of where the money flowed. Nobody could tell you. And it's the same thing in Hollywood. So this is just all, I guess, like saber rattling or just feel good words to make the members feel like something's happening. Cat's out of the bag. It's already over. It's done. And I'll demonstrate something that's going to prove it. Let's see here. Control over how AI replications are used. Restrictions on indefinite reuse or modification of their digital likeness. So, all this Jungian saber rattling and positioning and all that. But yet you've got actors like, or not the actors, but the estate of the voice of Darth Vader, right? I keep wanting to say Edward James Olmos. That's not right. Man, I had a brain fart. I'm a Star Wars child. I should know that. Chat's gonna come down on me so hard right now. But anyway, the actor, the voice actor, his estate basically said, yeah, in his will, he said, I want AI trained on my voice. I want the legacy of Darth Vader in perpetuity. And then you have actors like Keanu Reeves, where it's like, no, I don't want you doing anything. I don't even want CGI on my shit until you talk to me first. And I want to know exactly what you're doing and how you are altering my performance before you do it. And I believe that all came about through a simple shot where they added a tear rolling down his eye. And he was like, no, that was not the intent of what I was doing in the scene. You totally changed the meaning of what I was doing in the scene. So, that's yeah. Thank you, James Earl Jones. I knew it was 3 names. Thanks, Night Owl. I appreciate it. Edward James Olmos. I kept thinking that's wrong. Good sci-fi movie, wrong actor entirely. Yeah. So we have what the Jungs are saying and what the actors are really doing. So nobody's really enforcing anything. It's kind of the point that I'm getting at here. So let's take another, let's kind of like break it down in different kinds of performances. So let me pull up something here. Yes. So just to kind of, I don't want to play this because CBS Morning News, they're a little long-winded, but I just kind of want to show you this video where last year there were 2 voice actors that sued for misuse of stealing their voice. These weren't like in Hollywood movies. One of them was a voice actor where she was writing. I think she was in Scotland or somewhere in the UK. She heard her voice over the speaker in the tube going, now arriving at Edinburgh. And she's like, what the hell? That's my voice. They can't do that. Because she remembers going in and recording similar phrases. And then, of course, you can use AI to do whatever. And turned out that, yes, they did use her voice. So this is a problem. But there's something else that I want to point out here. Let me pull this up here. Where are we? Where is it? Here we go. all of you that are Simpsons fans, or before I switch, let's check the chat here. Oh, Batty, the theme music from The Looker. What was that in reference to? What was I talking about there? But yeah, there's that's a great sci-fi movie for those of you that want to look at kind of a meta view of media and brainwashing and although AI wasn't mentioned literally, there was a computer component to it. Because they wouldn't have known what it was back then. Yes. Oh, so I'm not. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. I sail the high seas 07. So I haven't seen a commercial in my own household since probably 2001. Because I hate commercials. Fucking hate them. I feel like I'm wasting my life. I love how they make a 1 hour TV show and you take out the commercials, it's really only like 40 minutes. That's how much of your life is wasted when you watch a TV show. Oh, yes, that's right. That's the computer software component, Patty Commander, where the actors were being replaced. Because I remember they were changing their appearance. That's right. Classic movie. Albert Finney and Susan Day from the Partridge Family. Yes, and Runaway, which is, I think, the same year or right around the same period with Tom Selleck and the robots going around doing all the dirty deeds on behalf of Kiss. Or no, Kiss. There we go. Gene Simmons was the baddie in that. In fact, just for you youngins, let me pull some of these up. We'll go over to the chat Jippity window because that's a smaller format here. Let me pull that over. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. I know you want to see what I'm doing, right? I assume. Let's see. We were talking about Looker. Yes, 1981. 3 of 4 models who had plastic surgery done by Larry after a computed list are dead. So yeah, that's right. These actresses, these models, they were getting plastic surgery, and what was happening, they were using computers to capture the perfect proportions and then emulate them. They were using their models to do the visual replacement of people in the commercials to basically use their beauty and their perfect proportions to influence people, in addition to the technology that would zap their brain, which then they turned into a gun. It was pretty. That movie was all over the place, but it's such an awesome movie. And, early computer effects. Oops, hold on, my screensaver just came on. Hello, there we go. That's Susan Day from the Partridge Family, which was one of the models that survived the murder spree, because they were getting rid of the evidence and all that. A lot was going on in that movie now that I think about it. Let's see. And then we were talking about Runaway. No, I think it was one word, wasn't it? 1980. Yeah, one word, 1984, with Tom Selleck and his man stash. Yeah, in the near future, a police officer specializes in malfunctioning robots. Yeah, because people would call and say, yeah, there's a robot in my tree. You need to get it out of here. They're kind of like the cleanup crew. And I can't remember what the big baddie's motivation was, but he was sending these little robots around to like off people. But that was another good one. Had a good electronic music soundtrack. Yeah, really, it's, classic sci-fi, good stuff. Let's see. What is this Lily saying? It's like the modern version of Elaine and her doppelganger mannequin. Oh, from Seinfeld. Yeah. I don't remember a whole lot from Seinfeld, but the 2 episodes I remember are the one with the soup Nazi and the one where, what's his face? The idiot with, it's always bouncing around and jump in, forgot his name, Kramer. He had this whole scheme where he was going to buy horses where he'd drive people around in the park. and he would save money by feeding them massive cans of beans. But there was one drawback. It was the flatulence that the horses had. So the passengers couldn't take the bad flatulence from the beans. Those are the only 2 episodes I remember. Let's see. Oh, hey, Rexus, thanks for coming out tonight. Yeah, no worries. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. But yeah, that is life with computers. You gotta always back up off site. I've learned that the hard way many times. It's not when or not if your hard drive will fail. It's when. It's always when. Let's see here. Oh yes. Oh hey Chan310, you're new, aren't you? Obviously you're a subscriber now that you are able to chat. So thanks for subscribing, coming out and commenting tonight. But yeah, Silent Running is another classic sci-fi with robots. That one was around environmentalism and had some Joan Baez hippy dippy music in it. But other than that, Baddie Commander, if you don't recall this one, they did a lot of cool stuff with models. But if you remember those robots, these little short robots, you know how they pulled these off? Because they didn't have the capability to actually make real robots like that. They actually had amputees in there, where people that were missing their bottom, their torso and legs, and their hands were down in the feet here. So they were actually walking on their hands. Pretty crazy. But it looked amazing, and it gave a lot of personality to the robots. Another great sci-fi movie. Terrible soundtrack, but great movie. Hippie Gardener in Space. Yes, that is exactly what it was. Yeah, that's right. Looker was Michael Crichton, another great author who all did Jurassic Park and many other classic sci-fi movies. But anyway, we got a little off topic. I want to get back to AI and Hollywood. So y'all got me to nerd out. Do my nerd squirrel. So let me get back to the potato head here and find the next video I wanted to play here. Yes. Okay, so those of you that are the fans of The Simpsons, you will know this gentleman. I believe this is Hank Azaria. Azaria. Yeah, that's how you say his name. And he does a lot of the voices on The Simpsons. And he did this interview with the New York Times called "Can AI Voice The Simpsons?" We found out. And they brought him in and they demonstrated to him voice synthesis with AI. And see, this is 11 months ago. And he had a very interesting response to this that makes total sense. So let's play this first. First, I'll entertain you with a little bit of his craft, and then his response, his reaction to the whole day, watching people basically capture his performance and talk about the nuance that it missed. But there's one more layer to it. Here we go. Oh, and fair use, YouTube. I am transforming this work with my commentary.
As soon as I get this wood chopped, I'll be there right with you. I hope that there's donuts afterwards. You gotta kind of do it, you know what I mean? You stick something in your mouth that makes the cigar in your mouth sound quite convincing. Now, I hate cigars. I wouldn't actually put one in my mouth, but a pen is perfectly fine. Actually, this is slightly gross. I'm going to take it out.
He is those voices. Fair use, YouTube. So really quick, the reason why the caption is Hank won today, but in the future. So like I said, they captured his performances, and then they had the AI try to emulate it. They would type in prompts and he'd go, but you missed this little zhuzh on that vowel and this emphasis on that, etc. So he was going on and on about the nuance of the performance. But check this out.
People are going to listen to and enjoy and watch what they like, and they're not going to care whether AI generated it or human generated it or some combination of the two. Right now, what AI generates by itself as Motor Bartender or anything else isn't going to cut it. But if it does start to cut it, people are going to listen to it and they're going to be grateful that it's so readily available. Look what
So I was surprised by his response, to be honest. That what this reminds me of is when I was in the music industry and we were transitioning from records, you know, LPs, the disc with them grooves in them for your youngins, versus the CDs. But y'all youngins probably don't even know what CDs are. Now that I think about it, you know, when we transitioned even the digital downloads, there was this big argument about, you know, oh, the sound's not as good, and you know, the records are warmer, and it's the cold, harsh digital world and all of that. So, but you know, they were claiming that you were losing a nuance in the musical performances because the sound quality wasn't the same and all that stuff. So yeah, I found his response to that to be totally opposite of what, you know, like he wasn't threatened by it at all. It's like, yeah, people didn't care. Most people that want to listen to Chumbawamba's Thub Thumper or Tub Thumper, they don't care, right? They just want to rock out to the song. They don't care how it was recorded, what it sounds like, because they're listening to it on headphones. They're listening to it on car speakers. Maybe they're watching it on MTV on their crappy television speakers. You know, they're not creating the content. They're just consuming it. So they're not aware of those nuances. And that's what the music industry went through. And now Hollywood's going to go through that. They're, you know, which kind of is going to bring me to another, to the visual realm. I'll point this out again later. But yeah, 07, you've demonstrated in past comments that you are in the know of audio. Yeah, tube amps, record players, the big thing for some. In fact, in my town, we have a store that all they do is they sell record players and special edition collectors LPs, and that's their specialty. And there's still people that want to go buy a record and listen to the records. And apparently they've been in business for 10 years, and there's enough people to keep the store in business. Same thing's going to happen with movies. I think we're going to have movies that are obviously total AI slop, totally all 100% generated by AI. That's good enough for some people. They're not going to care. And then you have some people that are total film buffs. They get into like the storytelling and how the footage was cut, and oh, they use this color grading, and oh, the sound design and the music. You know, some people just want to get dumb. You know, they just want to forget everything and just escape, right? So same thing's going to happen. Same thing's going to happen with AI taking over a lot of the creative aspects of Hollywood for sure. Yes, Batty, this is something I don't talk about it a lot. I don't know if how many of you caught the countdown on the live stream. I changed the video. I studied avant-garde music. I don't talk about this a lot because most people don't really care. But the best way I can describe avant-garde music is it's very dissonant and cankerous, and it's just really grating on the ears. It sounds out of tune to people. I often call it Planet of the Apes music because, you know, it sounds like that real. Because Jerry Goldsmith was one of the early composers that used a lot of the what we call now classical avant-garde music techniques to write his music. And the video that I showed at the beginning was of Alvin Lucier. And in the late 60s, early 70s, he made what was called brainwave music. And what he would do is he would get into a trance to generate alpha waves, and they would use his alpha waves coming out of his mind to modulate synthesizers, because basically synthesizers are all using waves that add and subtract each other, and that's how you get the trumpet sound and the bass sound and the snare sound and all that. There's all different ways you filter waves. And so, yeah, that was, you know, there was also some acid involved too, because, you know, this is the 60s. But anyway, your boy studied under some really crazy ass avant-garde music artists. And I have some provenance. I studied under the guy who studied under John Cage, and another guy who studied under Harry Parch. If you know, you know. I won't go into it, but anyway, your boy's got some history. Anyway, so yeah, I just thought I'd put something different up just to kind of set the mood. And oh, hey, Adrian, thanks for coming out tonight. Good to see you. Let's see. So yes, if it's good enough, people don't care about the creative process. It's escapism. A lot of entertainment is just escapism. Oh, I hate to tell you, Lily. Yes, there was some Yoko Ono influence in there. I don't know if you know this or not, but her and John Cage had a minute there where they collaborated. So, yeah, her whole thing was walking up to people and cutting off their ties and calling it art. What a dumbass. But yeah, what I might do is maybe I'll do. I won't do it in the live stream or videos, but maybe I'll just kind of throw in like some introductory videos, or at the end, if you all stay long enough, I'll play some stuff for you and kind of explain some of that stuff, because it does. A lot of those techniques are actually used in modern sound design, horror movies, to make grating, crazy sounds, or to like create like anxiety and nervousness. Yeah, a lot of those techniques, and some students that I studied under actually went on to have very successful sound design and voice acting careers in Hollywood. Yeah, crazy. Well, that's bringing back some memories. I'm getting all I'm not usually I don't usually reminisce much, but wow, that's crazy. I forgot all that stuff. All right, so let's finish what Azaria was saying, because he had a couple other things he wanted to add on there. Plus, I was pausing for fair use. YouTube.
To the music industry. What, I cried a tear because the record industry reinvented itself? I got to listen to all the music for free all of a sudden.
Boom. How about that? I think somebody sailed the high seas too.
So I don't think people are going to feel much differently about any of this.
Yeah. I think he's got it right. Because like I was saying earlier, I for a free piece of software where I can upgrade it to $300, I have a complete Hollywood production studio. All I got to do is get the inputs to the level of Hollywood. That's a whole different thing. But I mean, you catch my drift. If I had the inputs, I could get the Hollywood outputs. If I collaborated with the right people, very easy. That's another thing with DaVinci Resolve, is that you can share your projects over the cloud and collaborate in real time. And there was some of that going on with early music recording technology. Anyway, I won't get into that. Let's see. What are you saying, Night Owl? Oh, I tickled your funny bone again, Lily, did I? Let's see here. Yeah, I wonder if his ship had the Napster flag on it. Mine did. Yeah, I was what was it? A Bear Share was one of them. Yeah, that's that Napster kid. Boy, they got him. I remember Metallica came out and named him, and he was done. I think he went on to do another. I don't want to say piracy related thing, but he did something else that was like decentralized, like torrenting. See that, because that's the thing about torrenting and all the Napster, is that it was whack-a-mole. You'd sue the person sharing, but then like by then, because music files are only a few megabytes, 100,000 people had it and they were sharing. So yeah, it just the music industry hadn't suffered it yet because people didn't have the bandwidth. But yeah, that's going on now. I'll just say that. And then we also have a whole nother layer to the internet. Maybe a lot of people don't know about, but I will tell you about it. But please, if you don't know what you're doing, please do not go there. It is very dangerous. You have to really know what you're doing when you connect to it, and that's the dark web. Very dangerous. You could get hacked very easily if you don't know what you're doing. So I'm just going to name it. You're on your own. All right. So let's go here. Have one more. All right. So now let's kind of look at, I kind of want to pull up some things here to kind of show you just to kind of remind you what's been going on with video and AI here. So let me pull up a couple things. Or you know what? Let me rest my brain a little bit. Let's, in case we get Homefront Ford show up tonight, I found some more videos I think he'll like. Let me see here. Oh, yes. Here we go. We got this Milwaukee Tools here that apparently is... oh, hold on. I have a technical issue. Just bear with me here 1 second. It's live. What can I say? Good thing I don't do this for a living. Okay. There we go. I think we got it. Here we go. Okay. Thanks for bearing with me here. There we go. So those of you that know Homefront Ford, he's a drywaller, and he's always asking me, hey, are there robots to do drywalling yet? And there is one. It sucks. But I found a couple of AI slot videos, and apparently there's this Milwaukee branded what do I want to say, exoskeleton to help you with drywalling.
They only pay me to run wire. I ain't gonna clean shit, and they only pay me to run wire.
All right, well, there's one more here. Let me make sure this one's not gonna do the same thing. Yes, it did. All right, but I know how to fix it. Yes, here we go. And I forgot to check for those copyrighted sounds, copyrighted tracks they always throw in there, and we're good to go. So here we go.
This out, Milwaukee built a backpack that does the heavy lifting for you. Those arms grab the sheetrock and hold it tight to the ceiling. All I do is steer with this little remote, hit the switch, and it sinks the screws just like that. Hands-free, square, and fast. This out, Milwaukee.
So there you go. But in case you didn't tell, there's the Sora. It's fake. But even I'm always transparent. I'll tell you if something's AI generated. Yeah. Yes, Autobots transform. Yeah. So you were a GoBots guy, huh? Not Transformers? Or did I get that wrong? Transformers and GoBots were right after me, so I get it wrong all the time. Yeah, Spider-Man's not going to put up with that for sure. Yeah, Adrian, getting back to what I was talking about earlier. He says that the music industry is the only industry that has 90% failure rate and still rake in record profits. Yes, I do have some insight on that. So yeah, I was in the music industry. I used to consult for a consulting company that consulted. It's convoluted, I know. Warner Brother Records and Capitol Records on how to promote music online and build websites. So I used to build websites, and I built a lot of tools. We're talking like the years before social media and WordPress. So they needed the tools to, upload their music, talk to their fans, all that stuff. So I built a web hosting company around these tools and sold it to these artists. But here's the 90% loss thing. So what the record industry would do at that time, there were 6 going on 5 major record labels. And then there was literally hundreds of little mini labels. Sometimes they market themselves as independent. Sometimes they're like, we just do metal music, or we do rave music, what have you. And they would go through all these towns, and they would sign artists left and right. And they had to have a good record, because if they did break, cool, we get something out of it. But if they didn't, no sweat on us, because what we're going to do is we're going to just close that record label, write everything off as a loss, keep the money. So that they did a lot of that. There was a lot of fancy. Oh, so you were in the biz too? Cool. Yeah. So there was a lot of that going on. We had a joke, is that the only company that was making money in the music business was UPS, because they would ship the records from the label to the distributor, and the distributor would ship the records to the record stores, and then the record stores would go, oh, well, we didn't sell all of these, so here, take them back to the distributor, and then they send them back to the label, and the label will go, no, put them back in distribution, and they would just go back and forth, back and forth. But what nobody knew what was going on at the time is they were shipping guns and coke. So there's that too. I saw a lot of crazy arguments ended with weapons brandished. So yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah, a lot of strange ties to the adult industry too that were really weird. But anyway, yeah, the people that I was tied up, they were mobbed up too. So there was that layer to it. And yeah, I in order for me to leave the industry, I literally had to disappear. And the guy that was above me, he passed away from what is it? When your liver hardens, I think it's sclerosis, because he drank a lot. His liver hardened to the point to where it didn't work anymore. And it was like, once he was gone, I was like, I can walk around in the same neighborhood. That's how bad it was. It's like, once you're in, you're in. Yeah. Yes, this is true. The contracts too. The contracts are crazy. In fact, well, no, I don't want to say too much more, because there's still some people floating around out there that might tie this back to me. So I'll just stop there. But I already said too much. But yeah, it wasn't just about music. There were some money laundering aspects to it, and that's why I say the same thing about Hollywood. How they keep making all this crap and they lose so much money. The only thing that makes sense is somebody is laundering money. That's all. That's the only thing that makes sense. Yeah. All right. So where did I leave off? Let me, I squirreled. I went to the music industry, and we're talking about Hollywood here. Which, I guess the music industry is the retarded cousin of Hollywood, if you really want to be honest. So let me pull up here some other goodies. All right. So we're all familiar with, let's just call it what it is, AI slop, right? So, you look at something, it's totally, okay, it's got Star Wars, you got the chip in jail thing going, but it's slop, right? And this is called Star Wars A New Hope, but it's 2025. Let's just watch this for entertainment purposes. Fair use, YouTube.
If you want to see the full video, make sure to go to my page and enter the code OBWanker57 to get 50% off for the
Pause
first
the video,
month.
R2. She's so friggin' hot.
With all due respect, sir, you've already seen this video 4 times today. Are you finally going to oil us up already? Me and R2 have been feeling pretty rusty lately, especially in the inner thigh joints, if you know what I mean.
You know what? Why don't you do it yourself, you fucking clanker?
Just pausing for a minute, but also too, they're obviously training, doing voice training on 3PO and Luke's character, and it's all right. It like Hank Azaria says, the nuance ain't there. All right, continue on.
Great. Now I forgot what I wanted to say.
And also too, they're putting in, this is probably classic. They take an image or screenshot from the original film, and then they put it in an AI that can generate video in what they call an image to video prompt. So they say, hey, okay, here's this video, or I'm sorry, here's this image. I want you to, have this happen in the video, etc. Because you can even see the lips. They're not even matching what the hell's they're being said. Because what they did was they took the video that was generated and put it in another AI that did some lip syncing to the audio. So the audio was generated totally out of context of the AI video, where, even today we can do the audio, the lips, and the sound effects all through like VO. What's the other one? I'm not sure if Kling can do it yet. And Sora 2 can now do it. And there's also some other, well, I won't name those now, but that's where we were, because this was made 2 months ago, but this is kind of the state of like AI video like the last year, right? And I'm gonna show another I'm going to show where we are today. And it when I saw this, it absolutely it tells me that the nail's in the coffin for Hollywood. But anyway, fair use. Continuing on.
You were talking about the young lady in the video, sir. You said that she was hot.
Yeah, I wanted to say that I'll never find a girl like that out here. And even if I did, I don't have any riz. Maybe old Ben could teach me some.
Use the Riz, Luke.
I hope that boy isn't downstairs gooning again.
Luke's just not a farmer, Ben.
What?
I mean Owen. He has too much of that dog in him.
But you see what I'm saying? The lips are off. So there was probably about four separate AI tools that were used to make this all work together until they were able to make this video happen.
Whatever, just call him over.
You know what? Give me the bottle. You don't even know what you're doing.
Luke! Dinner!
All right, I'm coming, Aunt Peru. I'm probably gonna visit old Ben tomorrow.
Why is that?
That crazy
I want
wizard.
him to teach me some riz. I'm thinking of finding myself a girlfriend. I was watching the new video from that Leia Orgasma chick. It was fire. Have you seen it? I'm getting real excited for tomorrow.
I actually need your help tomorrow. I need you to help me relubricate the moist meter. I can't do.
Also, too, you're noticing that just sometimes they don't even bother with the lip syncing. So, like, if this was in the movie theater, this isn't quite where Hank Azaria was thinking things would go. But, I mean, could you imagine, like, paying $20 to see something in the movie theater?
Do it alone.
But I was going to Ben's house to pick up some game.
Sorry, son. I really need your help. And besides, I can teach you some things about girls, too.
Like what? No, honestly, what am I gonna learn from you? You're married, and your wife is sipping lean all day.
Where did you get that idea from?
Well, look at her. It's obvious.
All right, but I can still teach you a thing or two. You know, girls like hard-working men. And a hard-working young man would help me out tomorrow. Especially if one day you're gonna take over this business.
Yeah, I'm never getting any girls with this broke-ass job.
Where are you going?
To jerk off again. It's not like I'm meeting any girls anytime soon.
Wow. Just wow. By the way, ZBird is the channel here. If you want to give them a sub, ZHEBRD. If you want to watch more Star Wars AI slop. Awesome. I'll put a link to the channel in the chat here. Sometimes AI slop is just good for sitting on the toilet. Know what I mean?
Well, at least he's not gay.
No. So there you go. All right. So, you know, AI slop. It's just that's how it earns its name. It's just kind of mashed together, whatever. And then now we have, let's see, earlier this year, we had another thing happen where this AI actress came out and has an agency and is doing commercials. And yeah, so there was a big stir over here. So let's just do a quick review of that, and then I'll show you the state of things in January 2026. So yeah, and of course the SAG-AFTRA slams this AI actress. Quote, "It has no life experience to draw from, no emotion." Okay, well, let's see how this goes.
Intelligence in Hollywood is heating up once again. SAG-AFTRA has slammed a newly launched AI talent studio, warning that creativity is and should remain human-centered. Over the weekend, Dutch founder Eline van der Velden unveiled Sequoia, described as the world's first AI talent studio at the Zurich Film Festival. The studio's debut character, computer-generated actress Tilly Norwood, immediately sparked backlash after news broke that the studio was looking to get Norwood representation. However,
yeah. Also, too, I want you to pay close attention. Watch watch her face and you'll notice something. You notice her face changes a little bit every time here and there. That's a big problem with AI video. It's called character consistency. It's very good now, but even this from like, say what, when did this come out? 3 months ago. There's been massive advancements since then. Fair use, YouTube. But pay attention, watch the face
later
change
said in an
in the
Instagram
teeth.
post, quote, "She's not a replacement for a human being." SAG-AFTRA, the U.S. labor union that represents actors and other talent, has now weighed in a lengthy statement saying, quote, "The union is opposed to the replacement of human performers by synthetics." The union went on to say, to be clear, Tilly Norwood is not an actor. It is a character generated by a computer program that was trained on the work of countless professional performers without permission or compensation. It doesn't solve any
slightly
problem.
different every time?
It creates the problem of using stolen performances to put actors out of work.
So this is the other thing they missed with the SAG-AFTRA. This quote, stolen performances. If you want to look at more people talking about AI in Hollywood, I would suggest watching Film Threat, which is they review movies, but they often interview Justine Bateman. And she started this film festival where she will not allow anything AI generated in, well, maybe I shouldn't say in any way, shape, or form, but obviously no AI as much as possible in the film festival, to sort of like the idea of like, well, let's keep the people together that want to just listen to records and people that still want to record music on 1960s vacuum tubes. You know, we'll only allow them into this music conference to perform. Similar kind of thing. And she had this really cool description of what AI is. She called it a performance blender. And the idea is that with this Tilly Norwood, you don't know if you're an actor. And let me see if I can find a frame here. Yeah. So you don't know if that's your chin or your nose or your eyes or eyebrows that are being put in there. Like one piece of your performance, like you're the left eyebrow guy and you don't know a lot of times. So there's no attribution for any of that. And they totally biffed that. They didn't see that coming. And, you know, cause AI basically just takes all these performances, blends stuff together and creates a new thing. It's basically guessing on what it's seen before and trying to do something net new from that. So, boy, they missed the ball on that. Yeah, I get a sense some of you are not Hollywood fans that don't care. Yeah, here you go. Put some emotional music and no one will notice. Yeah, for AI slop. They already do that on the TikToks and whatnots, the shorts. So Lily says it'd be okay for the plebs, I would say plebes, but the plebs to lose their jobs to AI, but not the precious lovies. That's a UKism. I don't know what that is. Let's see. Yes, exactly. My pinky toe has not given consent for any of that. Yeah, if you're a hand model, you're cooked because your hands were definitely used to fix that, 12 finger problem they had. Because you notice like the early days of like image generation, or video generation. Well, no, it was image generation. I actually did a video on that. If you want to see it, here, let me pull that up. But yeah, nobody talks about it anymore. But like October of 2024, there was this really big problem with hands being all jacked up. Yeah, here it is. It's called Dear AI, what's with the freaky fingers? Or AI hands are freaking everyone out. And I did a high-level explanation of why the hands were always jacked up. And they pretty much fixed the problem. So you don't really see it anymore. It's actually, that was like the one way you could go, oh, this is AI. It's fake because he's got 12 fingers, obviously. Okay, so let me get back to what we were eyeballing here. Oh, no, wait. I got to switch something out here. Give me a second. Close a couple windows here. My fan's screaming in my ear. Here we go. Back to Tilly Norwood. But yes, the performance blender. They missed that. And that's going to get them.
Without permission or compensation. It doesn't solve any problem. It creates the problem of using stolen performances to put actors out of work, jeopardizing performer livelihoods and devaluing human artistry. The statement further reminded producers that synthetic performers cannot be used without notice and bargaining, per SAG-AFTRA's contractual obligations. Several actors, including...
That was fancy speak for if you're going to do it, you got to tell everybody else involved and negotiate a compensation for the stolen performance. And, and to a degree, I do agree with this in the sense of like what Adobe was doing. The reason why I switched to DaVinci Resolve, because even though I'm not like a Hollywood creator, but I did work in the music industry, and I did, I recorded music and got some stuff into film, and there's the aspect of the Adobe software where they came out last year and said, oh, you don't own your copyright, like I was talking about earlier, because we're going to train the AIs on your work. And that's the part I don't like. But, I don't mind if I would give permission to do that, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But the fact that they just take it and do it, that's where I have the problem. All right, let's get back to it.
Melissa Barrera, Nicholas Alexander Chavez, Lucas Gage, Mara Wilson, and Toni Collette have spoken out against the creation of Norwood, echoing concerns over technology replacing authentic human storytelling. However, Vandervelden...
Like Hank Azaria said, if it's good enough, if it's escapist enough, who's going to care, right?
Defended her business, saying, just as animation, puppetry, or CGI opened fresh possibilities without taking away from live acting, AI offers another way to imagine and build stories. I am an...
Yeah, okay, so just really quick, look at her teeth and how they kind of warble a little bit. It's like the one last tell of AI oftentimes is you look at the teeth and the lips.
I am an actor myself, and nothing, certainly not an AI character, can take away the craft or joy of human performance. For more on this story, head over to thehollywoodreporter.com.
See, she looks different there. That's a totally different actress.
This is the Hollywood Reporter News.
So what do y'all think about that? Because it's one thing if it's a completely made up, dare I say, person. But it's another thing if you capture the performance, not motion capture. Remember, kids, they don't like that, of an actor and then recreate them digitally in the same project or another project. Which reminds me of another movie I think that y'all should check out. And I've mentioned this before, but those of you that are newer, and I always forget the movie, and I always have to ask AI. hold on. Let me go over to Chat Jippity here. Jippity Cricket, my little Jippity Cricket. What was the name of the movie with Robin Wright Penn where her likeness was captured and reused, and then she got booted out of the industry? It came out in 2013. I always forget the movie. I think it's like the collection or the corporation or the Congress. Yes. The Congress. This is probably the first time. This came out in 2013. This is the first time that I remember seeing this in a movie where a likeness is captured and then we don't need you anymore. And by the way, we own your likeness and we're going to just make movies of you at this age forever in perpetuity. Your meat bag is done. We don't need it anymore. So yeah, that's another good one if you want to explore that. There's actually a couple of other good AI movies coming out, by the way, that I want to bring to your attention that are getting a little bit of buzz. Well, one of them's getting some buzz. It's got one of my favorite actors. It's like Good Night, Good Luck. Let's see. Don't die or something. Good night, don't die. This is like 3 lines. Yeah, here we go. Good luck, have fun, don't die. One of my favorite comedic actors, Sam Rockwell, made a lot of great movies. And this is coming out here pretty quick. And the premise is this man comes back from the future and he's tried like hundreds of times to build a perfect team to defeat this like mega all powerful AI in the future. And he's arriving in a point in time, like just when it's going to come out. And yeah, he just shows up in this restaurant and he, I mean, he's total Looney Tunes. He's totally crazy, probably because of all the shitty scenes and all the things he knows that's going to happen. And he's like, I don't have time for your normalcy. But yeah, this one looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And then there's another one coming out. I think it's called Mercy with our, yeah, here we go, with Chris Pratt. This one is, this guy goes on trial and he has 90 minutes to prove his innocence to an AI judge. So this is not a new theme, but it'd be interesting to see how they put it in, you know, using modern technology and storytelling, and hopefully they don't make it for modern audiences, if you know what I mean. But yes, I'm actually looking forward to these. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay, back to the potato head here. So now we're going to get to where I saw something. This has been trending. It's been going viral the last couple of weeks. And it's an AI production, and it was just made by some regular person just using some AI tools. And it took me, there were points in the film where, unlike the last ones, like, oh, they were using this and they were doing the lip syncing and they're doing this and doing this. There's a lot of it where I'm like, how are they doing this? I have no idea how they're doing this. So let's check this out. It's Beggar's Canyon, and it's a Luke Skywalker film that takes place right after Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So Luke is wearing his Bespin suit here. Let me get this set up correctly here so you can see what's going on. Just give me 1 second. I think we had a little snafu. Just bear with me one moment. Okay. All right, so hopefully you all can see that. It's a lower resolution, so that's because I guess in order for him to afford to do this, he had to do it at a lower resolution, so it's taking up less screen space. That's what I was trying to fix. But anyway, let's just watch it like this.
We're lucky Jawas don't like to read. It was a place where the most powerful kyber crystals were protected. Kyber crystals are what power lightsabers.
So, yeah, already I'm like, this is insanely good. They obviously wrote a script. They laid out all the shots. But let's continue on. I'm pausing for fair use. Let's keep going. I'll put a link to the channel if you want to subscribe.
And they aren't easy to come by. This is a map right to one.
Use the Riz, Luke.
I know, R2. I won't be long, I promise.
I don't know if you caught it there, but there were some effects from the video generator but then they also layered in some of their own effects. And of course, they're using AI music. But let's watch for character consistency. It is very good. Very, very good. That's a little different. This is already better than what Disney's cranking out. I hate to say it. But like all these cinematic shots like that, I mean, that's the difference between AI slop and actually using AI to enhance the storytelling. Yeah, I don't know what else I can say about it. But this is to me, this is the proper use of AI, is to enhance the storytelling.
Here goes nothing. This is sure up there.
Okay, there's a hallucination, an AI hallucination there. Anybody in the chat, you think you can catch it? Just real quick. I'll give you a hint. It's Luke. And this has a lot to do with bias. Often I talk about bias in AI and the quality of the data that's being trained. And what it is that he has this chalk bag. He's wearing a chalk bag climbing these rocks, but he's strong in the force. Why would he need a chalk bag, right? But this is just AI going, well, this is what people that climb mountains do. They have this chalk bag. And so this is one of the problems I often run into when I'm generating things with AI is oftentimes it's like, well, most people probably won't catch it. I'll leave it in. And because if I change it, everything else is going to get jacked up in the shot. That's always like one of the crazy things or the worst things about using AI. It gets close enough. It's good enough. I'm going to keep going. All right, let's continue. Pausing for fair use.
Sorry, guys.
And there's no chalk bag there.
Hey, little buddy. Don't worry, I'm just passing through. Relax, would ya? Like I said, I'm just passing through.
One thing I notice is that every time you get a real close-up, it's good. The face is very good. The texture, the skin, everything, it looks just like him, but always far away, and he's moving around. That character inconsistency breaks it every time, but it's getting really good. Because you have the sound and the music, it's much more immersive. And this is Lily, this is just like after 2 years of this, the improvements in 2 years. Crazy. So if this is what we got in 2 years, because Now we're getting music, voice, video, sound effects. I got DaVinci Resolve, bro. I can make a movie. We're doing this. They even got the curls in the hair right. All right, something weird there. I don't know what that was. Space Spartans.
Whoa, easy there.
Yeah, I'm not having three-headed snakes. I'm good.
Hello? So you look over this place.
I'm just pausing for fair use, but also too, if you notice, no clip is longer than 5 seconds. Most clips. What? This is Clone Wars stuff. World Between Worlds. No way. That was pretty good. I honestly don't know how much of this is AI and how much of it is like visual effects at this point. Like that, to get that the AI to render Qui-Gon Jinn coming in like that, that is mastery of AI rendering, I gotta say. That is pretty damn good.
You're listening now.
Who are you?
Let it choose you. Let it choose you.
Well, that's not good. Wait a second. I just realized something. If this is between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, he ain't supposed to have a hand. Yeah, he has both his hands. Am I wrong? Yeah, that was Empire Strikes Back. I'm your father. Zip, zip, done. Okay, but still, this is pretty awesome. I love this. This is awesome. Let's continue on. Fair use, YouTube. Don't drink the water. Yeah, this is like getting into the realm where AI is like, I'm not sure how to do this. So it's hallucinating really hard. Look at his chin on the water. He got the Riz. He now has the Riz. So think about that in 2 years. That's how far we've come with AI, in at least like as a medium for entertainment. Never mind the what I do for a living. Wow. So, what'd y'all think of that? That was pretty good. I'm very impressed by that. When I first saw this video, this guy had like a couple hundred subscribers, and now he's at 37,000. I don't know how many views this thing got. Oh, wow. It's already up to almost 300,000 views. So this thing's making the rounds. It's definitely making the rounds. I mean, Disney needs to take note. Disney needs to pay attention here. Of course, they'll probably just crank out more of the usual crap, but just use AI. Okay. So I always like to mix it up a little bit. And I thought what I would do is I would pull in a video to do a little bit of nostalgia. And, you know, how I put a little spin on some of the things that they show in there. So I'm just calling up a little video here. Just give me 1 second. Here we go. I'm going to jump around a little bit, mainly for fair use. And for other reasons, but let's pull it up. This is when the internet was new, the dark side of the 90s. And actually, I remember when this, I think this was the CBS morning show, and that's Katie Couric, and I can't remember the other gentleman, but they're still reporting today, and they you know, asking each other, what's the internet? What is this? What's that? But I remember the internet being a much more wilder, darker place because it wasn't regulated like it is today, or at least, you know, law enforcement wasn't paying attention to it. And there was a lot of weird stuff going on the internet. And actually, let's see, how can I say this? Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. Let me think about it a little bit before I say it out loud. But anyway, let's fair use YouTube. Let's watch this video. And I'm transforming this work with my commentary.
Can you explain what internet is?
For fair use, because this is a pretty big channel. It's Vice TV, so they're coming for me. I always get these copyright strikes every time I do these damn things. But it's worth it. So yeah. The military, DARPA developed the internet. What a lot of people don't know is that the internet was designed. It was designed to be bombed. And by the very nature of the way the traffic flows around on the internet, and it's also why they call it the web, you break one strand of the web and the traffic can go around the unhealthy part. It'll take longer to get to its destination. But the way the internet's designed is also it breaks up the data in chunks, and it knows to go, hey, I didn't get that one chunk, send it again. So not only can it redirect, but it can also heal the data that's flowing across it. So yeah, that's what the military gave. It gave us tennis shoes, and the internet. Well, no, that was NASA gave us that stuff, but yeah, hear me. It was all the military industrial complex. He invented the internet. You know that, right? But yeah, on your point here, not anymore, that the internet's not free anymore. There is one important aspect that was preserved with the internet. And if we lose it, it gets really bad for everybody. And that's network neutrality. One of the big arguments, again, going to the traffic and the way things flow around the network, is part of this Bill Clinton, Gore initiative was they were trying to encourage all these communications companies to invest in the infrastructure of the internet to make it, you know, more robust, make it kind of like a public-private partnership thing. You build it, you maintain it, but there's one thing you cannot do. You cannot block any other the other companies that are allowing traffic through on your systems. Treat traffic neutrally. All of it can flow through. You cannot block anything. So the idea is that, just as an example, if Netflix built their own network infrastructure and connected it to the internet, they cannot prevent anyone else's traffic going through their internet, their networking infrastructure. So that was the big agreement. And that could have ended very badly if they didn't have that, because then you're blocking commerce. You could block speech. You could do all kinds of censorship. It would have been really bad. And there's been about every 10 years, you'll see the battle come up again around net neutrality. And there's always this group of people, I don't know who they are. They bring it up and they try and knock it out. So, yeah, one of the like big advancements with the internet. Yeah, I'm not reading that out loud, Lily, but everybody's got eyes. I hear they're driving Ubers. Just don't let them do a 3-point turn in the middle of the street, though. Yeah. Yes, Lily, this was a thing. Even before the dark web, because the all of the web was dark, really. The reason why they call it the dark web is it doesn't have a search engine like the bright web or the regular web that everybody uses. So it's very much more difficult to find things. And so you only go to places because somebody told you where it was. So if you're going to do that kind of stuff, it's possible. But yeah, in the early days, the Silk Road, if you want to look it up, that guy, they buried that guy under some jail somewhere. I don't know where he is. Yeah, hit or miss. But, okay, I'll talk about it, but I got to speak in code a little bit here. So corn was absolutely insane on the early days of the internet. Anything you wanted, anything went, anything goes. We're talking animals. We're talking snuff. You're going to have to Google some of this stuff on a VPN. Don't be Googling this on the open web. I'm not even sure if I can say some of these things. I'm trying to be careful. But yeah, I mean, it was vile. It was vile. And they had to come in and, yeah, the FBI was very busy all through the 90s. And also the Klan. The Klan was very active on the early days of the internet. And it was because they moved from the real world to the digital world, the FBI actually was able to find everybody and basically take the teeth, just defang the entire Klan. So that's why they don't talk the way they used to, because they can't well, anyway, they were defanged. I got to be careful what I'm saying. The point I'm just trying to make is the early 90s internet was the Wild West. It was insane because it wasn't just the web, right? The web was like for the noobs, the easy access to everything. There was a lot of text-based stuff. It's all now on the dark web, but you had news boards, or they call them NNTP, kind of like the progenitor to like Reddit, but worse. Really bad, really, really bad. Some of the stuff that people would say, it was, well, it was after BBS 07. This would be like internet. Some people connect their BBS to the internet, and then there was like the NNTP news boards. In fact, there was a law passed that requires, even to this day, for internet providers to give free and open access to NNTP, or Network News Transport Protocol servers. So you can still go and find these boards. And actually, this is how a lot of high seas activity occurs around entertainment and media. So if you're in the know, you can still get a lot of stuff through those boards. But anyway, I don't want to say too much, but arg. Okay, we'll get back to the video. And that was, I always hated those interfaces where they do a real world stuff. Like, you're literally putting a bag into a cart. I hated those 3D emulated websites. They're dumb. But anyway, so yeah, we're talking about web browsers, right? Today it's Chrome, it's Brave, it's Safari, and a few other players. But back then, Netscape, Internet Explorer, which is still alive today, and Mosaic. Mosaic was is the work that all these organizations base their work on, and that's where all the college, anyway, all the nerds were using Mosaic, and then Netscape came on the scene, and it opened the door to everybody because it made it easy just to install the software on your computer, run, and go. All right. Let's get back to it. Fair use, YouTube. Yes, 07. So you were one of those early web designers, were you? PageMill and Dreamweaver, and what was it? Fireworks for the graphics, for the clickable maps, image maps. Yeah, I did me some of them. All right, let's get back to it. Oh, you see that? That was an image loading. I forgot about that. You remember that progressive load 07 where it took like several scans to load an image? Because we're talking like, what was it? Like 256 kilobytes per second. And now we're all like running on a gigabyte or gigabit, which is, I don't know how many order of magnitudes bigger, but it's a lot. I'm not doing math live, okay? But one thing I want to bring up real quick, what this all led to was Microsoft comes in with their web browser, and they did this little sneaky thing where when you installed the Windows, you couldn't remove Internet Explorer, and it interfered with all the other web browsers. So they tried to make it really difficult for the other competitors for you to install their web browsers on. And there was a massive class action lawsuit against Microsoft where they were forced to make it so that, hey, you got to allow people to use other web browsers, fair, capitalism, all that stuff. Don't be a monopoly. And what just happened in the last week? What did Windows get? Yeah, antitrust deposition classic. That's exactly right. And you know what Microsoft just did with Windows 11? They're getting burned, not by the courts, but by the public for it. They embedded their AI agent Copilot into everything, even their little paint program, and people hate it. They hate it. And so there's people that are like literally dumping Windows and installing Linux, Mint, which is a flavor of Linux. And what's funny, if you're in the know, what's funny to me as a computer nerd, Linux is like, for very high level, like people that are doing programming and know networking, they build their own computers. Linux is not like a basic operating system. It is like balls. You got to have balls to use this stuff. So I'm like, wow, did they make Linux easy to install now without any hardware problems? And they have all the softwares on it. Wow, that's how bad it is. People are going to Linux. Wild. Yes, dual boot. Yeah. You just flashed your nerd card. But I mean, this is just it'll come back. But yeah, but this is just Microsoft trying to wave their dick around and knock everybody out and go, oh, okay. Anybody left? We just bowled you over. Anyway, I probably should have said that out loud. But let's continue on. But this gave way to the browser wars. All right, let's continue. Man, this reminds me of my days at IBM. We used to call that the gopher farm. Everybody pop up out of their cubicle. See if anybody else was like, bro, you want to play a game? Yeah, Nerf wars, Nerf gun wars. Yeah, not a lot of work was getting done. Lot of male energy in those rooms. Yeah, I remember playing Doom on shared server and then having the network engineer coming down going, what the hell's going on in here? What's all this traffic at 9 o'clock at night? Awesome. All right. Fair use, YouTube. Let's get back to it. It's in all these little nooks where you can get snacks and all these different all this different cuisine that you can get. So basically it's like, you don't want to leave. You just want to work forever, right? And that's why you kind of get that culture now where, you know, you get to 35, you're old and burned out in tech, and they don't want you because you're not going to fall for that shit. Okay, let's keep going. Yeah, it's a bouncy council for adults. No. With hair. Oh my goodness. Hold on. I got to take that in.
Jeff Bezos creates
There we go. Yeah. A lot of people don't realize Amazon's been around as long as it has, but what they did was they figured out how to do e-commerce at scale. I've talked about this before. Yeah, because in the old days, people had one computer that had their website on it. And, you know, as the internet grew, they had to figure out ways to make the software serve people all over the world. And that required a different way of thinking how to design software. That's all I'll say about that. Does anybody know what Yahoo means or what the acronym is? Yeah, Kevin Spacey in super creeper mode. That's a good one, Batty. I'm never going to unsee that comment. Yeah, a lot of people think Yahoo is a nothing burger today, but even today, they're still in business. They're still like last number I heard, I think they're still like a $1.2 billion company. All because of that free Yahoo Mail, and people go there to read the news and do finance. They're still around. They're still a very profitable company, last I heard. But in answer to your query, Jacob, Yahoo stands for yet another hokey online organization. They didn't take themselves very seriously. Lily, one of your brothers still has AOL email. Yeah, AOL was kind of like the next level after browsers. They tried to make it so that they could curate everything. And, you know, you were only exposed to a certain amount of news, certain amount of this and of that. There was also CompuServe that was one of the early ones that tried to do it. Earthlink, I remember that. They provided dial-up services as well as curated content. But there's an interesting story about AOL. That the internet grew so fast that people started to notice that the dates on the news stories were days behind, and it turned out that they were copying the internet on their own servers. So they were faking being on the internet. That's how small the internet was. They could just literally copy what they wanted onto their systems. Oh, the simpler times. Let's get back to it.
The first person to appear on a cover of Time magazine with bare feet.
That's awesome. I forgot about that. So there you go. If you like more stuff like this, go check out Vice TV. They always make a lot of nice documentaries. Although sometimes their politics are annoying, but I like these historical ones. Okay. Let me queue up something else here. Yeah, he lives on the edge, no shoes. Smells like Parmesan. I'm in the mood for Italian. That's what my Italian relatives always they say. Pass the stink feet cheese. So yeah, looks like this whole thing with energy and AI is kind of we're kind of getting into like fast moves, fast changes, and we don't have enough coal plants. And I've talked on the channel about how some of these data centers are going to use nuclear energy. Either they'll make deals with nuclear power plants to dedicate one of the reactors like they did on 3 Mile Island, or they'll install modular reactors on site. And apparently Meta signed a major deal for megawatts of data off of nuclear energy. So if you are kind of an investor here, you might want to pay attention to this. This might be something you want to be looking at because it's, I don't know about investing in AI companies. Again, this is not an investment advice, but I just kind of want to, just like in the gold rush, the people didn't make money selling the gold and finding the gold. It was the people selling the shovels. So it'll be all the companies around data centers maybe selling the chips. That's still debatable. The energy, construction companies, communications. I think that's where the money's going to get made. All right. But that's not financial advice. That's just me thinking out loud. All right. This is entertainment. Let's proceed. Fair use, YouTube. Nuclear. Yeah. I say it like I'm a president on an aircraft carrier, don't I?
You're our constant reality check, Will, when it comes to the viability of these announcements and the actual capabilities that the United States has right now. Does the U.S. have this nuclear energy right now?
Does it have it now? No.
Yes.
Oh, no.
When will it get it?
Yeah, that's a good question. Not anytime soon. That's for sure. Nuclear is just really slow. I mean, you said these plants aren't built. They're not even licensed yet. Although TerraPower is very close to getting an important license for its Wyoming project. But
yeah, so again, like I said, the plants is one route. They're planning for that, planning plants. But then there's also the companies that have these little modular reactors you can install on site. So they're talking about building new plants.
This deal is like for 2 other TerraPower projects that they haven't even begun planning, and maybe 6 more after that.
Hey, Will, does Meta coming
That's
out
loud.
and saying, hey, folks, we're making a deal with you. We're behind you. We want
That was some chalkboard shit. Sorry if I got you.
your power. Does it in any way speed up the timeline for getting these things built? Or it's a lot more complicated, as you have reminded us?
No, I don't think that speeds up the timeline. But what it does do is it adds a lot of credibility to the idea that people want more nuclear, that nuclear is going to happen.
Yep.
And, you started this
Do
off
people
being
want more nuclear?
I don't know. That news broadcaster's her voice is very grating. Give me a second to rest my ears while I answer this chat question. Yeah, where's the Karen protesters? Nuclear is not as controversial as it was, say, 10 years ago, let alone 70s and 80s. I think all of that has passed. I mean, even with the Fukushima, people are not freaking out about it as much for some reason. I guess they're busy in the streets blocking illegal immigration or blocking the ICE agents. I don't know. Interesting question, but I do know that it's not. Environmentalism's kind of like yesterday. Like even Greta Thunberg moved on to Palestine now. So it's not cool anymore. All right, let's proceed. Fair use, YouTube. Hello, play.
Nuclear, though, Will, or does Meta and everybody who's in the AI deal or AI world, they want more power?
Lots of people want more nuclear, but definitely the data center, the big tech, the AI people, they really want nuclear. But there's a push to use nuclear for heavy industry. There's a growing, realization that homes are going to need more electricity. If you've got an electric car, if you've got electric appliances, there's just growing demand for electricity across the board.
Yes, this is true. Also, too, the way we transmit electricity, all of our infrastructure in the States here is aging. It's very, very, a lot of it's in poor condition and has to be updated as well. Well, hey, Lisa, welcome. Thanks for coming out tonight. Yeah, Batty, I don't think that was us. I know Germany was blowing up some of their coal producing plants, and they're hurting right now. They went hard on green energy. And they're feeling the pain right now. Let's see. Was there another question in here? Oh no, it was how dare you? my favorite little darling. Okay, let's get back to it.
And nuclear is seen as one of the key ways to meet that.
Will, you always remind us these so-called SMRs, these small modular reactors. The technology sounds pretty great.
They're going to talk
but
about
it's not there yet. And it got me thinking to nuclear submarines and the fact that we have a fleet and have had for decades fleets of nuclear submarines that are all
and aircraft carriers as well.
All over the world being powered by essentially small modular reactors. Why can't we just do what we did in those subs decades ago and plop them next to a data center?
A lot of it's the regulatory thing. You've got to get, sign off from the government, and the ones used in submarines and also big aircraft carriers, they get licensed through the Department of Energy because they're not commercial. If you want a commercial plant, that's got to go through the NRC. It moves slowly, but I'm really seeing movement. Things are happening. It's just a very slow process. And I have to say that the government is making a lot of pushes to accelerate the process. And I've been hearing from companies just this week, the process is getting faster.
So I think Carol,
to Batty's comment here, it's still steam powered. Yeah, everything boils down to having steam turn a turbine to generate electricity from mechanical energy. Except we're just using a little star and a little cup to do it. Well, no harm, no foul, right? All right, let's get back to it.
Well, go ahead, Will.
Well, I was just going to say is yes, we can speed up paperwork and red tape and all of that, but it is a nuclear power plant with dangerous radiation, so let's not cut corners about it.
I was just going to say that, and I think that would probably be Carol's natural follow-up here.
What's this?
Which would be, is it a good thing for us to speed through this process? Isn't it a long regulatory process to prevent the next 3 Mile Island, to prevent the next Fukushima, to prevent the next Chernobyl?
Yeah. We definitely want to make sure we don't have any nuclear accidents, but there's room to speed up the process, just not too much.
Speed up the accidents? What?
Listen, and bottom line, like as you said, Will, everybody wants this stuff. The amount of power that increasingly this world needs, and especially as, we have more domestic manufacturing maybe coming back, not only in the US, but maybe in other countries. The power grab is on, so we're going to need it all. Renewables, carbon-based, we're going to need nuclear. We just need it all.
Mm-hmm. We do. And you were asking about wind before the break too.
Mm-hmm.
We want wind as well.
The president doesn't seem to want wind, though.
No.
It kills the birds.
Oh, but a lot of other people do.
Is that enough? Is that enough to get investment in wind to continue?
Yeah, that's the end of it. All right. So yeah, we're so far behind. It was already bad. Now with all these data centers, and apparently we're behind on RAM chips. So they're blaming data centers around AI on the RAM chips. I don't know if I believe that. Because, they order ahead of time. It's not like they go to the store and say, yeah, give me all your chips. They have vendors and suppliers, and they tell them, hey, we need all that stuff, start manufacturing it when they're doing stuff at scale like that. So I don't know how much of that is actually for real. Because, there's always every 5 or so years, there was a major chip plant fire. Oh, well, it just raised all the prices. And then, a turtle chewed all the cables on our little chip sticker thingy. There's always some calamity that happens with memory chips. Am I wrong? Think about that. So I don't know. I think it's just the industry just kind of doing a little ball squeezing personally. Yeah, 07. I actually was debating on whether or not to do a reaction video to this, to the AI layoffs are backfiring. I can talk a little bit about this. The layoffs are happening, but a lot of it's not due to AI right now. They're scapegoating AI because if they were laying off these employees and then bringing back for lower pay, it's for a different reason, is kind of my logic there. I think they want to drive wages down because the wage inflation was insane during 2022. You remember when they overhired and they were paying all kinds of wild money because they couldn't hire enough people. And now they're shedding all those big salaries. I think that's what this really all is. And they want to get the salaries back down. That's part of it. A lot of these companies, they have debt coming due to where they have to refinance. Because in the corporate world, when you borrow money, you have to refinance your loans depending on the terms of the loan. And a lot of those loans are coming back up for renewal at the higher interest rate. So they're not getting that cheap money they were getting during the COVIDs. So that's part of it too. And there were some tax code changes, which I think this year get put back to where they were. But under Biden administration, they made it so that, and this is just in big tech, this isn't necessarily all businesses, but it explains why there's like massive layoffs in big tech as well too. There's in the tax code, I think it's code 174, not that it matters, but it's around software research and development and being able to use that as a large umbrella to write off everything in one go. So you don't have to amortize or depreciate. Depreciate the expenditure over 5 years and then like turn it into like a capital expenditure kind of thing. I know I'm getting a little accounting-y on you, but before they could just go, yep, I pay this big tech nerd $300,000 a year. That's an expense, we'll just write it off all at once. And so they were able to not only get the cheap money, but then pay all these obnoxious salaries and write it off and then make it so like, oh, we have all these expenses, and they could justify all these other high expenditures because they're not having to like do all this complicated accounting, and they can do fancy, cook the books a little bit, make it look like more's happening than is really happening. And all that disappeared. January of 2023, I think it was, because a lot of the layoffs really started happening going into 2022. So that's the tail end of a lot of this. But yes, there are companies that do have dumb shit CEOs. I'm not saying that this is not happening, that are laying off people going, oh, we'll just have AI do that. I'll bring in my little nephew that knows how to program all this shit, and he'll figure out how to like run my whole company on AI. I'm exaggerating, but there are CEOs that got sold a false bill of goods around AI. And there's been some studies that have been coming out once a year. Last figure I heard for last year, 2024 now, was that 97% of AI initiatives lost their investment and didn't return anything once they got past the pilot. So when they launched it into the public, and this is just like .com all over again, where it's like, oh yeah, everybody wants to buy dog toys on the internet and have it shipped to their house. In 1998, everybody's like, just go to the store. I'm not gonna pay for shipping to get that. That's stupid. But nowadays, people will do that. They'll pay that. They'll do that all day long. In fact, they'll pay more. And with AI price fixing, Jeff Bezos will make sure that you will. That's a whole nother thing. But yeah, so the attitudes are different today. And we haven't really got into the real AI firings yet. When AI really starts to actually like help these companies like really make money, and they'll actually be really productive with it. But most companies that have been using it have been losing their ass for the last couple of years. And they're still trying to figure out how to make it a thing. They want it really bad. So yes, there are companies that have been firing, like Klarna and other companies that, like, for example, Klarna fired all their a large majority of their, I think it was like 80% of their customer support staff, and ended up hiring a lot of them back, because the problem with the AI agents is that sometimes, especially it's one thing when you have AI automate moving, like scanning a paper in and then turning it to text and then putting in a database. We can do that all day long. That's dipshit work, entry-level intern work, no problem. But when you are putting AI on the front line and it's dealing with customers, you need a human to be able to have a little bit of emotional intelligence. Go, okay, well, maybe there's an exception to this whole process that we got here, and I'll cut the person a break, or help them out, or there's nothing in the documentation here that the AI is trained on, so it doesn't know how to like deal with it. So then the customer gets in this documentation loop hell. So like the best example I can think of is like when you would call a phone number and it would say press 1 to talk to an agent. And then it goes to the agent and says press 1 to talk to this, and then it plays the whole thing to go to the website. And then you go to the website and the website goes call the number. And then the number says press 1 to talk to the agent. And you're like back and forth. And you get in that like phone loop. Same thing. So they really haven't figured out how to make AI really good at that part yet. And, you need a human in the loop to guide the AI along or to do the busy dipshit work on the side while they're doing the real relationship building, the real customer interaction. And they're all learning it the hard way. AI might get there someday, but, where we are now, not even close. Not at 100% anyway. Yeah. Yeah, they'll keep the carryover loss provisions. Yeah, what's that accounting principle? I always get the acronym wrong, but let me look it up in ChatGPT. This is classic.com behavior. That's the wrong window. Just give me 1 second here. I'm going to call up a new Jiminy Jippity. Here we go. Hold on. You'll understand in a second. What does the acronym stand for? It's pronounced EBITDA, but I always get the letters wrong. It's like earnings before. Oops, shit. I canceled it. What does the acronym EBITDA stand for in accounting? It's just, it's like earnings before interest, tax, insurance, and deductions, and yada yada yada. Yeah, EBITDA. Or maybe that's what it thought I said, but it's something else. I always get it wrong. Yeah, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. So that depreciation and amortization, that's where a lot of the big tech companies and even corporations that were borrowing the cheap money, they would do this shell game where they could write off all the expenses under that tax code I was telling you earlier, especially in big tech or anything to do with like R&D, but it was largely used in big tech and software. And those last two letters were really huge for the companies to do all the shell game. And now they lost that capability. And now the shareholders will go, where's my profit, huh? Where's my money, huh? So yeah, they lost that power. So I think the current administration put it back in, and I think it's going to start this year. So we might start seeing hiring, at least around tech and research and other things, come back a little bit, and AI might be a push for that too. So that was a long rant. Oh, GAAP. I'm not familiar with that one. Is that another accounting practice? Let's see. Haven't heard of that one. Oh, generally accepted accounting principles. Meaning, hey, everybody does it. Why not us? But yeah, money's not so cheap anymore. And then they change the tax code and they can't play all those numbers games anymore. That's really what's happening. There are companies that are laying off around AI, but the real like decimation, where 56% of men will be displaced and 79% of women will be displaced by AI. That's like by 2030. That's when they think that's really going to happen. I don't know now. Yeah, I used to think that was the thing, but now that I've been working with AI a lot, I think a lot of people are going to come in and start showing, hey, boss, this is what we do. This is how we do it. And the companies will eventually figure it out. And, it's not going to be like, oh, you'll work part-time or it'll only be 3 days a week. They'll just find more shit for you to do. Because that's what they said when computers first came out. Oh, 4-day work week. There's less work, but we'll get the same pay. Nah, they just made you do more work with the better tools. That's what'll happen. All right. Well, everybody, I covered everything I wanted to cover tonight. Unless you have any other specific questions around AI or any tools, or maybe there's something you want to see me do with AI, because I want to do more videos around some tips and techniques, not just using AI to write and come up with ideas. But you know how I do my image generation, maybe some stuff with video, and then I can show you how I put it all together in graphics software and then in DaVinci Resolve as I start using it more in my video production process. So if that's something you want to see more of, let me know. Otherwise, I think I'm going to call it a night, but I'll give you a chance to answer in the chat first before I cut you all off. I didn't bring in the AI characters tonight. Wow, I'm a poor host. But we'll do that next live stream. Oh, okay, cool. So I got a vote from Lily, so we'll incorporate some more of that because I'm looking to reach some more viewers, and the algorithm's not being too friendly to me these days, so I gotta do something a little different for sure. Yeah, that's not my department, Batty. I don't know about putting the implants in the monkeys, but you know, if you catch my introduction video next week, you'll get to see some of that. I won't reveal more than that because I know you like monkeys. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming out and supporting the channel. I appreciate you. If you haven't already, please like the video. And if you could do me a favor, go into the regular comments section. You can drop an emoji or just say what you liked or didn't like about the live stream tonight. Otherwise, that's it for tonight. Thanks for coming out. And until the next one, peace.